Hey, yo, welcome back. There's not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. It's been a long time. My son had left you. I was in Japan for just about a week and wasn't able to really get videos up for the channel, man. Shout out to Japan. My plan was before the trip was to shoot a bunch of videos and then schedule them to post like during the week. So we could still at least have these conversations so the channel could still be active. And I apologize. I had actually never been on a plane this long. I never took the trip this far from home. And the preparation to kind of get there, to get me and my son set up to take that trip was too much. It was more than I thought, and I didn't get to do the video. So I appreciate y'all still rocking out with me. Got a lot of things to discuss, a lot of new music coming out. I know there's a Drake video coming out at some point today. We'll probably talk about that for Nokia. Jesse Reyes has an album out that I love. I got like an advanced listen of it, so maybe we'll talk about Jesse a little bit on the channel. But right now I want to talk about YG. YG got a new song called 2004. It's really, really, really powerful. Classic West Coast beat by Swish, Smoke, and Noise. It's featuring Buddy. Like when you hear it sonically, it's like, okay, this YG pocket. I know exactly what it is. It's familiar, as soon as the beat drop, okay. And then we get something unexpected, something that we wasn't expecting. Maybe something that we don't expect from YG. And YG is actually a really dope storyteller in hip hop. YG is expressive, but he picks and chooses his spots. Like most people, I think we look at YG and we be like, well, he just give us like just West Coast joints. You know what I'm saying? But YG picks his spots. He picks his pockets where he's going to storytell, where he's going to be expressive, where he's going to tell you emotionally where he is, mentally where he is. And it is one of those songs, man, really powerful. First line on the song, and I apologize for anybody that this might trigger. I realize that there are people who go through this, who have went through this when they were kids, who are hurt by this. But then there's music like this who I think helps. It can kind of help you go through because you see somebody like, oh, they went through it too. Oh, it's not as uncommon. Oh, I'm not as alone. Oh, I'm not as isolated. And it's unfortunate that so many people go through it. But first line, YG says, when I was young, I got raped. And there's a pause. And he just leaves you to sit with that for like half a second. And then finishes the line, by a bitch that was twice my age. So right there, he's just setting up, where we going with the song and what he's going to talk about. And it's eye-opening. And it's brave. And we applaud him for it, man. And he starts telling the story. He starts telling the mentality of what was going on, the emotions of what was going on. And then in the third verse, he starts getting into, well, maybe this is why I'm like this. Maybe this is why it's hard for me to have a relationship. But he goes on in the verse, he's describing it. Picked me up from school to meet at Huz and got laid. Ever since that day, I never looked at shit the same. Fucked up in the brain. Pussy is what I blame. So the story goes, he was 14 years old and the woman was 30 years old, so a little more than twice his age. And YG was dating a girl in school, in his school, who was closer to his age or closer to his age, but appropriate, right? He's dating a girl in his school. And this woman that took advantage of him was that girl's auntie. And the song is mostly about this, but he mentions other things too, like friends dying, it's just him and his mentality. It's almost like him talking to his therapist, and that's actually how the video is set up. There's a music video that accompanies this. But he says, fucked up, yeah, I know how fucked up can it go. Nipsey left me like Biggie left Hove. So rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. We know we're also coming up on the anniversary of his death on March 31st. Of his murder, let's be specific. And in the news, we see a lot of little tidbits surrounding his murder coming up in the news now, and there may be a bigger picture than a lot of people realize. So shout out to Nipsey, man. Shout out to YG. At verse 2 of this record, I'm just going to go, and this is not lyrical, this is lyrical in a different way, right? This is storytelling. This is opening up emotionally. There's no entendres here. He's telling you straightforward. And he's painting the picture. He says, okay, now back when I was a juvie and shit, got used for the dick, I ain't even know what to do with the bitch. Confused a bit. Her niece, I went to school with the bitch. My screws loose, who got the tools to fix? So I went to the homies and we talked about it. They thought exotic. you know, my screws loose, who got tools to fix? This is him saying, hey, I was young and something was wrong, something quite wasn't right with me. I couldn't quite figure it out. My screws loose. I couldn't figure out how to tighten up. Who's got the tools to fix? So that actually is a entendre. So I got to give YG more credit. Like that actually is a bar, so to speak. But who's got the tools to fix? So he's seeking out some advice from someone. So who does he go to? His homies, the same kids his age, the same kids who are taught at a young age that how you become a man is sleeping with women, sleeping with the most women. Oh, and the older women, man, that's some cool shit. So he sought advice from kids who didn't know any better, like he didn't know any better. So I went to the homies and we talked about it. They thought exotic. That was their only thoughts about it. They couldn't think further past the fantasy, further past the way that we were taught, the way that we grow up, the way that society teaches young boys how to be men. And he talks about dick hard because of clothes. She stripped all about it, hypnotized from them hips and thighs, all hypnotic. Yeah, that's when I bust my first nut, young with his dick all in a grown up. With the shits real quick, how I growed up, I took advantage of, and I liked it, so what? Y'all call that sex abuse shit. I just thought she was doing some cool shit. Again, when we're kids, we don't think that's sex abuse. We're not taught to think that's abusive. So, again, man, shout out to everybody that's going through it, man. Shout out to YG for being so expressive. In verse 3, he gets into the reflection as a grown man of well, how did this affect you? Like, how did that trauma stay with you all these years? So he says, just before the next time you start asking why you like that, why you savage, why every hoe you fuck with is never long lasting, no access to my heart, I give no passage. A bitch took advantage of me, I ain't got no trust. That bitch took advantage of me, I ain't getting no fucks. At 14 years old, I got my dick sucked. At 14 years old, I got my dick fucked. The hoe was 30 years old, I never told. Was dating her niece when it happened, it was weighing on my soul. I ain't want to spill the tea, so I just let her go. Cause me and the auntie kept fucking for show. Man, this heavy shit though. You know what I'm saying? It'll be interesting to see just how people gravitate to this. I think this is one of those records that, is it gonna become a hit record? We talk a lot about numbers, right? This day and age, like the numbers justify the song. And I never prescribe to that. I always say I'm not a numbers guy. So is this going to become a hit record in that way? Not to diminish, and I don't want to diminish YG or his team, but probably won't be his biggest record number-wise. When he got joints like My Hitter, like, you know what I'm saying? YG got joints. Probably won't be his biggest joint number-wise, right? But no less important, this might be the one that when he does a show, fans come up to him at the end and cry about it or tell him, yo, dog, like, I thought I was the only one who went through it. This helped me get through. Or the one where certain people might get lyrics tattooed on them from this song. Like, this is one of those. And how do you measure and quantify that? So, I always say, like, music is valuable beyond the charts, beyond the Spotify numbers, beyond the monthly listeners. When artists are willing to open up and express and share and paint pictures of the world, of their world, and then as a listener, when it relates to you in another way, you can recognize the power of that. So, definitely want to shout out YG. Want to shout out everybody who's carrying that trauma and may need a song like this on a day like this, on days like this. You know what I'm saying? But that's all, man. That's all I'm going to say about it. If you haven't checked the record out, definitely check it out. It's powerful. I appreciate it. I think a lot of y'all will appreciate it too, whether you went through this or not. Like, I think the attempt here, the meaning here, the intention here is something super admirable, something you have to salute, something you have to applaud. So shout out to YG. Shout out to Buddy, helping them out, and the production team helping bring this one together. But those are just my thoughts. Hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think, all right? Till next time. Peace.